everybody, good afternoon and welcome to That's Football. It's a game with a difference. It's the richest game in football. It's Huddersfield against Nottingham Forest for a place in the playoff final. And look, the richest game in football because quite simply, both these teams are about to play their 49th game of the season. 46 games in Championship and then 2 playoffs, semi-finals to play your 49th game of the season. If you win it, it's a marathon worth running because you're in the Premier League. If you lose it, you've got a couple of months off before you play another 46 games in the Championship and probably not having a great chance of going up because the 3 teams that come down will go back up. So, yes, interesting game. James Garner obviously playing for Nottingham Forest on loan from Manchester United. And Huddersfield, I don't really know much about either of these teams really. We've seen Forest a little bit in the Cup. I want them to go up because of James Garner. But look, it's one of those games, isn't it? You know, the winner takes it all, quite literally. Mark, what was the point in hiring Ralph if we weren't going to keep him? Might as well have got Conte or Valverde as interim, says Daniel. Well, look, Ralph Rangnick has been sacked by Manchester United. I obviously have done a video on that on the United Stand quite a short period of time ago. Look, I take on board everybody's opinion. I get on with a lot of people, and I think some people sometimes take my opinion as being abrupt, but I am abrupt in my opinion, but it's not disrespectful. And I've got no problem with people who think Rangnick's crap and they want to get rid of him, but all I keep hearing is from those people is, oh, he was rubbish, he was that. Like almost defending the club who appointed him. So I think, look, the blame sits firmly with Manchester United here, and we always want to deflect that blame. If Rangnick was a failure, they appointed a failure. If Rangnick's been a failure, they never got him to do what he should have done. To me, I'm looking at the board, I'm looking at Murta, I'm looking at Fletcher, and I'm looking at them with big eyes tonight, and I'm saying, why are you still in a job? Why are you still in a job? You made this mistake. You didn't let him do the job he was meant to do. All eyes on you. All eyes on you. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, look, I have got the Formula 1 on. It's looking a bit boring, really, because you can't really overtake in Monaco. And Perez leads from Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc and Russell. But Hamilton's right up the arse of Alonso, 8th against 7th. And you just can't get past. You can't overtake. And ultimately, I think they're only going to race for 32 more minutes, aren't they? That's how it's working now. They're not going to complete the race, so they can only race for 32 minutes. So it's whoever's going to be in front as that clock drops down. In relation to this game, Samba in goal for Forest, Worrell, Cook, McKenna, Spence, Yates, Garner, Colback, Zinkernagel, Johnson and Davies are the starting 11. Obviously watch out for number 37, James Garner. Spence is a very good right back, where he's on loan from Middlesbrough. Whether he'll be at Forest next season, probably not. There's a lot of interest in him. Middlesbrough certainly looking to cash in, but if they got promoted, maybe they would keep him. Brennan Johnson, number 20, is a player that I've been impressed with. But I've got to be honest, my eyes are probably more on Huddersfield here because I know next to nothing about them, and that's quite disrespectful. So I'm going to read their team out now. Funnily enough, well, we'll talk about them in a minute in relation to the season that they've had. But they've got Nichols, Lees, Colwell, Sarr, Avila, O'Brien, Hogg, Toffolo, Zenani, Ward and Thomas. And obviously we've been through the team there for Forest. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Jonathan Moss is the ref. Don't know what we think about that. But ultimately, it is what it is. And it is what it is, completely, yeah. As you can see on the screen, to be fair to Huddersfield, they did actually finish above Forest, 2 points above them. So, arguably, they could be considered to be the favourites. Big up the Solihull Moors. Solihull Moors are through to the final to play Grimsby. I might do a watch-along for it. Solihull Moors, next week, final against Grimsby. If they win, they're in the Football League. They're in League 2. So massive game next week. Not Wrexham and all their money. It's Solihull Moors against Grimsby. What do you get when you cross a football team with a flower shop? Nottingham Forest, says David. He's been waiting for that one all day. Woke up to this disappointing news. Although I'd say Ten Hag didn't seem to be excited about Rangnick either. His interviews kind of made it clear, says Shahin. Quick question. Have you heard the song Informer by Snow? Classic 90s beat. I love it. Informer, you know Daddy Snow go play. Give mum down. Yeah, I like that. I don't know the lyrics, but I do like that one. In relation to this Ralph Rangnick thing, if you're not aware, Man United have parted ways with Ralph Rangnick. And effectively, some people are trying to put this on Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag did not have a major say in the departure of Ralph Rangnick. Erik ten Hag's only been in post for 2 weeks. Manchester United decided that they wanted to get rid of Rangnick a couple of months ago. So do the maths. I think it favours Manchester United to... I think it favours Manchester United to let it be about Ten Hag, but everybody I've spoken to since I did my video has pointed towards the fact that this is not mutual. Rangnick cannot speak. He signed agreements, of course, and clauses. Rangnick can't speak, so you're not going to get anything from him. It will get swept under the carpet as a mutual arrangement, and effectively this was something that was agreed a long time ago by Manchester United. But anyway, I've got the Formula 1 on, we've got the playoff final, and we're up and running, and the timer should be up and running on the screen. We're live from Wembley Stadium for the watch-along. It is Nottingham Forest against Huddersfield in the richest game of football. It is a chance to play in the Premier League. Now, obviously, there's a lot of empty seats on the Huddersfield side. They probably haven't got that many fans. I suspect the Forest fans will have travelled in their thousands. And who would you rather win? Who would you rather win? Let's do a poll, actually. I'm going to call it Who Would You Rather Win? And we are going to do Young Player of the Year as well. Who would you rather win? We'll do a poll for that. We'll do a competition for that. Huddersfield, Forest. Amazes me how many people spell Forest with 2 R's. It's one of those life's things. I don't actually understand why people spell it with 2 R's, but they do. They do. So you can vote on that. We've got the reason we didn't do Young Player of the Year last night is we've only got 5 candidates. I need 3 more. So we've got Trent, Foden, Mount, Cucurella, Saka. You've got to be 23 or under to be in the young player category. So give us some of those and we'll do them at half time. Huddersfield have got an early free kick here to whip into the box. And it goes out for a goal kick. Yeah, looks a lot fuller at the Forest end. Sorba Thomas is a baller. Watch out for him, says Joe Hawks. Thanks, Joe. We're always looking for a bit of information. Plays at number 16 on the left-hand side for Huddersfield. Keep an eye out for him. I think he was the one who just got fouled, actually. I mean, Huddersfield have obviously got some good players. 82 points. They finished third. Yeah, they finished third. Yeah, the Monaco Grand Prix is boring because nobody can overtake each other. So, yeah. You know what? People love Monaco. I hated it when you play the game. It's a horrible track. And it's picturesque and it's iconic. But it's a shit track for overtaking. It really is. I want to see a race. And you just can't overtake. It's a procession. That's what it is. Anyway, Huddersfield have started off the better team here. Keep an eye on number 37, James Garner. Another foul here. Forest being a bit over-eager in the fouling area here. Kulusevski. How old is Kulusevski? Let's just double-check. People are chucking me names here, and I'm more than happy if Kulusevski is old enough. Kulusevski's 22. He's in. So I've got Kulusevski, Mount, Cucurella, Saka, Foden, Trent. I need 2 more. Reece James. Do you want to put Reece James in? I think Declan Rice. Is Declan Rice young enough? He's got to be in there. If he is. 23 or under, yeah, we can put him in. Who actually won the proper one this year? Was it Saka who won it? Yeah, we'll put in Rice. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 1 more. Conor Gallagher, yeah, of course. Why would we not put him in? He's got to be in, hasn't he? Gallagher. Conor Gallagher. The name's Conor Gallagher. Cross comes in by Forest, cleared away. Good tempo to this game. Yeah, he's 22. We'll put Conor Gallagher in. Thanks, everyone. So we'll be doing that at half-time. Young Player of the Year. And we've got our quarter-finalists. We'll do that at half-time. So, yeah, Hamilton's been right behind Alonso for ages, and he can't get past him because there's nowhere to overtake. So it's a procession. 5 minutes gone here, 0-0. A lot of these games do go to extra time. Diaz is about 24 or 25. Apparently Foden won it. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner, get involved. I'm sure a lot of you are watching this playoff final. The richest game in football, because the money you earn from coming into the Premier League is huge. Because obviously, even if you get relegated, you get 3 years of parachute payments as well. It's a ticket to ride, basically. It is a ticket to ride. Because you get into that yo-yo status where you can come up and down. Cool. I can't remember the last time. Huddersfield were in the Premier League 5 or 6 years ago. I can't remember the last time Forest were in the Premier League. Don't know. Answers on a postcard there. Or answers in the chat. Don't send a postcard. We won't be able to answer it on the show. 18-19 they were in. 99 Forest were in. That was when United beat them 8-1. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scored 4 goals. Can you shout out the Wigan boys, says Joe. Shout out. 1999 since Forest were in the top league. So that's 23 years. Huddersfield got relegated in 2019. Oh, I don't want them to get promoted. I can't even bloody remember them being in the Premier League, and it was only 3 years ago. That's why they're back in the playoffs, isn't it then? The parachute payments are still coming in. Levi Colwill on loan from Chelsea for Huddersfield. I think, if I remember rightly, and here's a little bit of homework for you, how many of these starting players are actually on loan? Because I know that I think that, well, James Garner's on loan from United to Forest. Spence, the right back, is on loan from Middlesbrough to Forest. I think the lad up front is on loan from Villa, Davis. I think Zinkernagel's on loan as well. So that's 4 for Forest straight away. I don't know how many on loan at Huddersfield. Here's this player on the left that everyone rates. Huddersfield on the break here. Good play. Garner's just got knocked over. It's an interesting watch, actually, if you're a United fan, to keep an eye on Garner, because a lot of people think he's ready to play in a United team. I don't think he is ready to challenge for first-team football at United. I think he needs another year where he's in the Prem. But it'd be good to see him on a game like this, because it's a nice big pitch. Is Garner a CDM? He plays in the midfield too. I think he's I think he's more box to box really. I think that's how they play. There's a few clubs who want him though. Look at Jonathan Moss having a word with a player. That's his tactic because he's tired. Nothing's happened. The player's like confused. What are you talking to me for? It's because he wants a rest, mate. He's been running around for 5 minutes. He needs a rest now. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Garner go to Brighton or Southampton or Leicester, as long as they're going to start him. That's the main thing. Roger makes a good point. Garner's only a year younger than Rice. If he's not ready now, he'll never be. He's got to play in the Premier League next year, Roger. That's what I mean. He's got to play in the Premier League next year. There's no point sitting on the bench for United. Like he either plays for United, which I don't think he's probably ready for yet, or you send him on loan to a Premier League side. Yeah. I can't hear what Hamilton's saying. It just keeps coming up on my screen, Hamilton Radio. So if anyone knows what he's saying. Big Mac, no fries, and a Diet Coke. Zach says, is Forest and United a rivalry? Not that I ever knew about. Yeah, I expect United will announce a big signing soon because that Rangnick story has not hit well. I think a lot of people are not happy about it. It's a negative story, isn't it? Nunez, keep an eye on that. I don't know whether I'm going to be right on this, but I got told by a source last night that Liverpool have already agreed a deal to sign Nunez. Now, the way they were talking, I think they were a bit drunk on the Champions League and thinking Liverpool were going to win. So, yeah. What's my prediction on this one? Well, 86% of you want Forest to win, which is a lot of you. Maybe there's a little bit of history in that. Forest used to be, I mean, it's a bit like Sheffield Wednesday. I'd want them to win as well. Old, classic Division 1 Prem teams of the early days. Prediction, I think Huddersfield look like a good side. So it could be an interesting one. We'll end the poll there. We are going to do Young Player. We'll be voting for that as well. We've got a tournament for you to vote on. Quarterfinals through to finals for Young Player of the Year. Joel says, if Huddersfield come up again, I hope they get a better squad because that squad they had was the worst Premier League squad I've ever seen, says Joel Morris. What do you think of Brian Clough's achievements at Forest and do you miss when Midlands clubs were in contention for titles, says Easton? Well, to be honest with you, I'm going to sit you down there because Midland clubs have been in contention for titles more recently than North London clubs because Leicester won the league not that long ago and Liverpool and Spurs haven't won the leagues for a long, long time. So, you know, Leicester have won the league more recently than a North London club. But I know what you mean. There was a video, a chance there, cross came in and he got on the end of it, a Forest player, and he headed it wide. But going back to that, I don't know whether anybody saw it on ITV last night. After the Champions League, they had a program on called when England ruled Europe, and it was the period from 77 to I think 85 where England won I think 6 out of 8 European Cups before we got kicked out because of Heysel, and Forest won the European Cup twice in a row under Brian Clough. So I think that's an amazing achievement in to do that with not a very big club. So yeah, I mean Roy Keane himself said that Brian Clough was a better manager than Sir Alex Ferguson. I don't know whether that's because they fell out or not, but yeah, quite an equal game here. For 12 minutes gone, the richest game in football. Forest against Huddersfield at Wembley for a place in the Premier League. I mean, where do you put this game for these fans in relation to the importance of it? I mean, remember that season when Wigan won the FA Cup but got relegated? Where are Wigan now? Lovely cross by Garner that was, and that chance was, I don't know who it was for Forest, but he headed it wide. It was a good chance. Massive for Huddersfield because of the money. I've watched a few playoff finals in my time. Some of them have been really tense, penalty shootouts, extra time winners. And for the winner, it's huge. For the loser, it's just soul destroying because it's such a long season, it's such a hard slog, and then to fail at the final hurdle, it's a difficult one. But I did read something. I mean, Forest changed their manager, didn't they, around Christmas time and brought in this Cooper. And I think from the start, from when he's come in to now, if you accumulate all the points, I think they would have been top of the league. Yeah, I don't know why the Forest striker's wearing gloves. It's sunny in London and he's got gloves on. Maybe he's got a condition. I don't know. Maybe he's just stupid, which can be a condition. Mark, you should open a PO box so we could send you answers on a postcard and all kinds of stuff. You should do unboxing videos on your channel, says Little. Thanks very much for the super chat, pal. Please do subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. Forest got a corner here. Spence looks good going forward, says Criminal. Feels good to wear gloves, says Gens. Burglar. If Cooper doesn't win, this is his career over, says Callum. I don't know. I think he's achieved quite a lot. Goes for a goal kick from the corner. Liverpool got a parade, yes. It's on their YouTube channel. 51,000 people were watching it, which is compared to City, who had about 25,000 watching them win the league. So I imagine a lot of Liverpool fans were turning up already and they'd planned their day around it, thinking they were going to win the Champions League. But a parade for winning the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Mark, do you think Sunderland will ever play in the Premier League again? Says Joel Morris. I think they're a big enough club to do it. I wouldn't write them off. No. Anthony Gordon looks like a good player, Fraser. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what he does next season at Everton. Do you think Brennan Johnson's a possible world-class player? Says HG27. I don't know. I mean, look, I think if Forest don't get promoted, a few people might be looking at him. So I think Derby will be in the Premier League again, says George. Yeah, I think Derby, the sort of club you'd expect to probably get back at some point. Is Rooney going to stay? Who would I prefer to go up, Mark? Well, I want Forest to win because I want Garner, who's on loan from Forest, to win a game. I think it'd be good for his development. And yeah, I think being a bit old school, you know, when I was growing up, you had teams like Leeds. Not Leeds, actually. Leeds weren't in the top league when I was growing up, I don't think. I'm thinking like late 80s, early 90s. Oh no, Leeds were up. Ellen Road, Howard Wilkinson. So yeah, teams like Leeds and Sheffield Wednesday and Forest. These are the sort of clubs that I'd love them to be back in. I always preferred Sheffield Wednesday to Sheffield United. And I know Sheffield United have been up recently, but they were, when I was growing up, Sheffield Wednesday were a good side. You know, Chris Waddle, Des Walker, Paul Hurst, Warhurst, Sheridan. They were a good side. In fact, I remember talking about Sheffield Wednesday's history echoes with this year because Carabao Cup and FA Cup final contested by the same two teams, Liverpool and Chelsea, back in, I think it was the 93 season. League Cup and FA Cup was contested between Arsenal and Sheffield Wednesday, and Arsenal won both of those. Petals says all promoted teams will go down next season. I'd have a bit of that. Can't see Bournemouth staying up. Can't really see Fulham staying up. Can't really see any of these two staying up, yeah. Update on Formula 1. It's as it was 10 minutes ago. Everyone's in exactly the same position. Sainz is right up the backside of Perez, but then Verstappen's right up the backside of Sainz. But no one can overtake each other. Russell's in 5th with no one anywhere near him again. Seems to be happening to Russell a lot. Hamilton was close to Alonso but just can't get past him. In fact, he's battling with Ocon at the moment, who will have a go at him. So yeah, nothing. It's a picturesque Grand Prix, Monaco, but it's not a great Grand Prix for racing and overtaking. Charlie says one promoted team always does well. Yeah, well, look, I underestimated Brentford, so it can happen. Did you see that Brighton were trying to sign Twansebi? I think that'd be a good deal for him, Nathan, yeah. Somebody just said they can see Southampton going down next year, Mr. Joker. I'd be interested to see about that, actually. Be interested to see what happens with Ralph Hasenhüttl. But 20 minutes gone. It's a tight affair. That's what she said. Between both teams. I mean, look, richest game in football, fine margins. You're never going to get a 3 or 4-0. The focus and concentration in both these teams. And unfortunately, in games like this, it's a bit like World Cup knockout games, isn't it? You very rarely get crackers because both teams are so well drilled that we can't afford to make a mistake. The stakes are too high. That's why you get so many tight finals, isn't it? What has been your thoughts on Scottish football this season, says Joseph? Well, I think Rangers did a fantastic job to get to the final of the Europa League. I think they deserve massive praise. I know that it doesn't mean anything because they didn't win it, but hopefully their supporters can appreciate what they did and you know. Sterling could end up at Arsenal, says Chris. Thoughts on the state of Birmingham City, Mark, says Alex G. I don't know. I know they were looking for new buyers. I hope you have got new buyers. Mark, would you loan Garner or sell him, says Leo. I personally think I'd love to see him get a loan in the Prem. Yeah. I think Lewandowski will end up at Barcelona. Be very surprised if he didn't. As a Milan fan, I find it fascinating that England has 2 clubs that are considered the biggest in the country. Was United always as big as Liverpool, says East Den. I think, I mean, I'm always going to be biased that United are a bigger club than Liverpool. Garner's just got bullied off the ball there. Defender needs to come across, and he does. Liverpool fans will think that they're a bigger club than United. I think United are a bigger club than Liverpool, but we are the 2 biggest clubs in England because I suppose the history, the size of the club, what it means to the people that support them, the status in world football. There's no doubting that Liverpool and United are the 2 biggest clubs in England. That's why I've got a big rivalry in it. The best club at the moment is Liverpool by a long way when it comes to football. Do you think Arsenal will improve or collapse as PS player? I'm very interested to see what you do in the transfer window. If you don't do much business and go into next season with what you've got, I think you'll struggle. But if you can improve, then obviously I think that there's a lot of opportunity there. Yeah, but I'm very interested by this Mane leaving Liverpool story. Can you react to the Liverpool parade? Says somebody there. Huddersfield on the attack here. Good block. Favourite South Coast team, says JJ. Probably Brighton. But yeah, I was very, very surprised about Mane, to be honest with you. I really didn't see that one coming. I know I did a video on it yesterday on this channel. But Mane sort of said he had a big announcement after the final. I felt that was more of a hint that we're going to win the final and then I'm going to stay. I never felt... Do you think losing the final made him change his mind? I don't think so. I think he'd made his mind up already. But it did feel that when he said after the Champions League... I mean, Mane definitely said before the Champions League final, I've got a big announcement that I think everyone's going to be happy with. And then he said he's leaving. It feels like he might have changed his mind. I don't know. What's your opinion on Calvin Ramsey at Aberdeen, says Daniel Tate? To be honest with you, I've got no idea. So there we go. With Forest maybe in the Prem, who are you going to support next year? Only joking. Do you think Murta and Co will be competent in this market, says Connor? We'll have to wait and see, Connor. Fergie versus Ancelotti, how they affected football, says Ray S. Got a foul here. Perisic thoughts, says Steve. I think it's a good signing for Spurs. I wouldn't want him at United. I wanted him at United 5 or 6 years ago, but I wouldn't be inspired by that as a United fan. But I think Conte will know him very well, and I think he's not going to be a starter, is he? You're not buying him to start, so I think I saw somebody throwing up a tweet what I'd said about Perisic a couple of years ago, where I'd said he's basically a Croatian Mark Albrighton, but that's because United were being linked to him as a starter. He's not a starter. I think as a free transfer or as a squad player, I think it's a clever signing. I just don't know. I don't know at his age. There's a risk as well. Thoughts on Liverpool only winning 2 major trophies, says Marketing James. I don't think the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup are major trophies, to be honest. I mean, I'd love to win one of them for United because we haven't won a trophy in 5 years, but that Liverpool side shouldn't just be winning the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. That Liverpool side was meant to be, they'll be very disappointed they didn't win the league or the Champions League. Probably more about the Champions League because they, the keeper was brilliant last night, and Real Madrid. How Real Madrid have won this tournament is just amazing, really. Amazing. Huddersfield is fielded like a proper team but don't have proper finishers to execute it. Nottingham Forest will win, says Jazz. Do you think Newcastle will get top 4? Well, we'll have to just wait and see what they do in the transfer market, really. FA Cup not a major trophy, says Mike. No, I don't think it is. I don't. Make Marketing James, 2 major trophies in 7 years. Look, Liverpool fans will be very happy with a Champions League and a league title in the last 7 years. Let's not start disrespecting what Liverpool have achieved. Very, very good team, not a checkbook team, very well coached, and let's be honest as well. If this Man City, they've been a bit unfortunate coming up against the Man City side that's so good. But I don't think the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup is a major trophy, and people can tell me it's not. I don't think the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup's a major trophy. And you're talking to a United fan when we've not won a trophy in 5 years. Of course I'd like us to win it, but I don't think it's a major trophy. I think the major trophies for the top teams are the Champions League and the Premier League. FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. FA Cup used to be massive. It's not as big anymore. And the Carabao Cup, I mean, they're nice to have, but they're not major trophies anymore. Solihull Moors can get promoted to League 2. I know, Ram. I'm really hoping they'll do that next week. Up the Moors. Look, I'm not disrespecting the trophies. I wish United could win them, but I'm not going to pretend that I think that they're major trophies. I think there's 2 major trophies to compete for: Premier League, Champions League. If you can't win them, obviously winning the other ones is good. But I don't class the FA Cup as a major trophy. But it's definitely better than nothing. Connor, how can it be arrogant? I'm not. It can't be arrogant. We haven't won a trophy for 5 years at United. I'd love to win the FA Cup. I just don't think it's a major trophy. It's all about opinion. Nearly half an hour gone. It remains a tight affair. Gotts says the FA Cup was a major trophy until United disrespected the competition by pulling out and selling their soul to UEFA. It was FIFA, and it wasn't. That's not the true story. Lovely interception by Spence. They've got a bit of a 3v3 here. It's not a great cross, and there was a chance there. It didn't work out, but they find the ball back to Spence again. He's going to run at him. He's all on his own. He's a bit isolated. There's men in the box. Good little bit of play. He's going to shoot, It's not a very good shot, and it's cleared. Do you think Salah... Sorry, what's he say? Do you think Salah has settled his scores? Also, their front three is also getting stick. Do you think it will affect our next season? Says Lay. Liverpool. Look, I'm very happy Liverpool didn't win, but contextually, the goalkeeper was man of the match for Real Madrid. Like, their attack didn't do a lot wrong, and like the save from Mane onto the post was world class. The save from Salah was world class. Mane and Salah haven't done anything wrong there. Like, that's 2 goals for Liverpool against a lesser goalkeeper. And when I say a lesser goalkeeper, most of the Premier League goalkeepers wouldn't have saved either of those shots. So they came up against a world-class goalkeeper. I understand Liverpool's fans' frustrations, but they did enough to win that game. The keeper stopped them. Hiring Ralph just to coach the team is like hiring a surgeon to put out a house fire. Not taking advantage of his true skill set. Very disappointed, says Griffin. Yeah. Mark, on parades, the turnout for Liverpool today and United's parade in the past is huge. Not a dig, but the clubs like that fandom is hard to attract, says AGS. Can we call Liverpool versus City competitive when City have won 4 out of 5 Premier Leagues? Since when is there a trophy for second place? I think that's what's called domination. Yeah, but also let's not forget that it's not a fair fight, is it? Like, you can't take anything away from Man City. They're worthy title holders, but they do it with an open checkbook. Like, they spent £100 million on a bench player. Like, they spent £100 million on a cheerleader. I said this the other day. I like Jack Grealish at Villa, but at Man City, it seems to me like he's a bit of a clown. Like, he's the one that sort of gives... He seems more valuable to their social media profile than their actual first team. I think in April, like, Man City played a handful of important games, and he played like 20 minutes. But when they win it, give Jack a few beers and let him act like the prat for the socials. Like, that's the sort of thing that Pep can do. He can buy a player that... He can spend £100 million on a player and he doesn't even need to start him. Liverpool can't do that. So there is a... It's not a fair fight, is it, between Liverpool and City, is what I'm trying to say. Hi, March. I watch your content on United States. I'm a City fan. I'm sorry, says Anthony. Absolutely fine. Well done on winning the league. Obviously, I'm very glad that you did. I prefer you to win it over Liverpool. Be a big season for Grealish next year. Let's see. I think everybody deserves a second season. I would say it's about Sancho at United as well. You can't call a player a flop. There's been glimpses from Grealish and there's been glimpses from Sancho. Let's see what their second season holds. But yeah, I don't think it gets spoken about enough that Man City spent £100 million on a player that Pep doesn't start when it really matters. Perez wins the Formula 1. I presume it states it stayed exactly the same. 32 minutes. We're going to do Young Player of the Year, Premier League Young Player of the Year at half time, which you can all vote for. We've got 8 contenders, and you'll do them from quarterfinals to finals. So there we go. Yeah, it's not a Formula 1 race. I'm that bothered that I missed. I mean, it's very picturesque at Monaco, but it's a very boring race in the sense that, it's just a procession, yeah, nobody should be surprised. You want a track where you can overtake, and you can't overtake there. So there we go. I can't wait for Cristiano Ronaldo versus Erling Haaland. That's a good football match, says Anthony. And what happened to Leclerc, says Lay? Well, I think it was to do with pits. I think he finished 4th. Grealish goal versus West Ham partly won the league, says Said. Well, there you go. Worth 100 million, isn't he? Lovely play down the right-hand side here. This is the lad that everyone talks about for Huddersfield. He's into the box. Good cross shot. Keeper gets down to it. I can't just say the lad that everyone talks about. I need to know his bloody name. Thomas, number 16, Thomas for Huddersfield. Keep an eye on him. Matic to Fulham. Well, I'd be very surprised if Matic went to Fulham and played well week in, week out, because it's been very obvious that he's just not up to it in the Premier League anymore to play week in, week out. Sorba Thomas, number 16 for Huddersfield. I wish Forest to get promoted so all English clubs won the Champions League can play the Premier League next season, says Luke. Huddersfield are... I'll tell you what I will say about Huddersfield. Defensively, very well set up, aren't they? You can see the shape and work they put into the defence. And I can already see this potentially being a one-goal game or a extra time game. Update on Nunez on Twitter, mate. I can't see it, Lewis, so I'm not going back to Twitter. I had a look. I can't see it. Zach, yeah, look, I know somebody was asking me, can we get an interview with Ralph Rangnick? I made a couple of calls, and Ralph Rangnick can't do interviews about Man United because of the agreement that he signed with United, which United and most top clubs will always put in place. You know, you can't sack a manager and then the next day they're given an interview. That's not what the club want. That's why they get paid off. Or paid well. Not paid off. If Marley goes to Bayern, surely that means that Gnabry will be off, says Super. Yeah, well, I think he is off, isn't he? What are your thoughts on Van der Beek under Ten Hag? Also, do you think we should strip Maguire of the captaincy, says Tej? Well, Van der Beek will be given a chance under Ten Hag, of course. And here's this Roberts again. Good play down the left-hand side. That was a dive. Don't give him a free kick for that. Are you okay, Mark? You sound a bit sick. I'm fine, Lay. Thank you very much. Yes. So... and I would take the captaincy off Maguire, yeah. Yeah, I would. Thomas, Zorba Thomas, not Roberts. Oh, Manchester United are reportedly planning to include Anthony Martial in an offer for Benfica's Darwin Nunez. That's not new. I read that last night. That's not new. I'm hoping to see Manchester City win the Champions League and Man United winning the Europa League, says Anthony. Okay. Do you have a half and half scarf, Anthony? Nice ball by Garner to Spence. There's a lot of slow build-up play here. It's a very lethargic game. Huddersfield defensively well set up. And good tackle by Garner there. Is Spence looking like an upgrade on what we have, says Stephen Willis? I mean, look, in my opinion, I think Spence would be worth a look at if I was a Man United manager, but I'm not going to say it's a guaranteed success because crunching tackle that by Garner, because he's playing in the Championship, isn't he? So, but he's definitely more of an attacking fullback, and I think that's something that United haven't got. An attacking fullback is important. Corner to Huddersfield here. 8 minutes to half time, which means it's 8 minutes to our... Oh, God, that was a good work corner by Huddersfield there. And it's not a goal. It was well worked corner there, but it goes out for another corner from a block. I don't know whether it was going in anyway. Garner's playing well, says Alex. Flyboy says, what about Delo? Well, I think it's a big season for Delo. And also, you need two right-backs, don't you? And I don't think Wan-Bissaka is a player that you can keep on at the club as a potential backup when he's a £50 million player. Huddersfield! Cleared by Spence. I can see this going to penalties, says Salico. You're not the only one. You're not the only one staring at the sun. I think you might be right. Mark, how do you think Sunderland will do next year? Says Kyle. And Spence has been superb, says Mac. Spence seems like it'd be a good signing. Yeah, well, he's on loan from Middlesbrough, and I definitely think that Middlesbrough want to cash in on him. And I think he will be playing in the Premier League next year. I know there was some ITK account saying that he'd done a deal with Spurs. He hasn't done a deal with Spurs. Not yet, anyway. Obviously, you know, there's a potential for him to be... I mean, I don't know. How much money do you get for being promoted? I'm a true Man City fan, says Anthony. But he's got a soft spot for Man United. Okay. Championship players are underrated. Look at Danjuma from Bournemouth to Villarreal, and in his first season gets interest from top clubs, says Mahad. No, I'm not disrespecting Championship players. I'm just saying that until they play in the Premier League, you can't really start saying that. 170 million you get for being promoted. So, yeah, I mean, Forest could put an offer in for Spence for 15 million and say, look, if we get relegated, there's a relegation clause for you. Come and play for us in the Prem. So that could happen. Yeah, the important thing is to play every week, isn't it? But get promoted first. Very equal game so far. I don't know why, but I would like to see Swansea do better, says Himan. And yeah, I mean, look, I've not watched Huddersfield this season, and I've only seen Forest play 3 or 4 times, most of those in the FA Cup. But Huddersfield look like a team that plays a back 5 with 4 in front. It's funny, when I did my United Stand career mode on FIFA, I started off in the Championship, and I was amazed how many teams play with a back 5 in the Championship. It seems to be a system that everyone likes to play. I've spoken about Ranić on the United Stand, Hazzy. If you want to watch the video, the first 5 minutes covers my opinions. I think it's, as many people have said, it's odd. I think I used the analogy. It's like getting somebody to build a bridge for you, who's a bridge specialist, and you ask them to build the road to the bridge, and they don't do very well at that. But when you get to the bridge, which is where they're a special, you sack them. I just don't get it, to be honest with you. But you know, I don't get a lot of things that Man United do, to be honest. Forest on the attack down the right-hand side. I think this is the problem in this game. Looking at it tactically, Forest are very good at getting up to the edge of Huddersfield's box, but by the time they do it, Huddersfield have got 10 players behind the ball. They've got to move the ball quicker in the transitional phase, because they're just, you know, how are you going to score a goal when Huddersfield are working it so well, and Forest are really struggling to create any opportunities. I watched them play the first leg of the playoff semi-finals against Sheffield United, and they created chance after chance after chance. But here, oh, it's a goal! Amazing! Amazing! I actually was just saying I can't see them scoring a goal. It's an assist by Garner, and it's 1-0 to Forest right before half-time. Garner whips in the cross, and I think it's Yates who puts it in. Garner with the assist. 1-0. And it's a delightful little ball in. And it's 1-0 here. And that's what this game needed. It was getting a little bit boring in relation to how it was. So it comes to Garner on the edge. He whips the cross in. And it's not. It's an OG. It's not a goal. It's the cross that causes the problem. Garner whips the cross in nice and low. The attacker goes to get it, and it goes in off the knee of the defender. There's nothing the keeper can do about it. And it's 1-0 to Forest here, and we've got a bloody goal. Thank God for that. Needs a goal this game. First blood to Forest. Huddersfield now will have to open up a bit. I think the way Huddersfield have been playing in this game, get everyone behind the ball. Forest was struggling to create opportunities. Huddersfield have got to open up a little bit more now. And Garner with the assist. Well done. Well done, lad. This is good for the development of Garner as well. It's an OG, but it was a Garner cross. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. As you can see above the scoreline, we're getting very close to 700,000 subscribers. Now, we will be doing some international watch-alongs for you. I'll tell you which ones we're going to be doing in a little bit. Remind me in the second half, because we've got Young Player of the Year award for you to vote for at half-time. But make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 700,000. Thank you, everyone, for getting involved. You're all welcome on That's Football. That's an assist for Garner at Wembley, says Jack. He's having a good game, you know. I'd say he's probably man of the match so far. Made some really good tackles, good distribution on the ball. Why did Man United get rid of Ralph Rangnick? That's just disgusting, says Anthony. Do you get an assist for an OG? You would get one if you were playing fancy football, yeah. But good play there by Davis, the striker. Garner's balling out here, says Banj. It's not a forum at 8 o'clock, mate. It's we've sort of binned off the forums until July. So it'll be more focused on all the United Stand shows now, because obviously there's a lot of community chat and talk about lots of different things. So we feel that when it's the summer transfer window, having 4 guests on a forum can slow down the conversation. So yeah, we've binned that off, but we are live at 8 o'clock. Garner is a brilliant crosser of the ball, says Jim. Mark, thoughts on Liverpool having a parade today, says Ajay. Well, no, I think that parade was... you've got to arrange those parades in advance. They've won the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, probably expected to win one of the league or the Champions League. So I understand why they've had a parade. And look, I think Liverpool were very, very close to something very, very special. And I think the fans will look at it today and go, the team certainly deserves appreciation. So I've got no problem with that parade, you know. I think if it was a parade where you've won the FA Cup and you've been a bit shit, then probably not. But that team was on the verge of something, wasn't it? What was the point of appointing Rangnick if he was going to get rid of him at the end of the season? Now I see what people mean with we should have kept Ollie, says AMK. And don't you think Ten Hag's vision is different from Ralph's? He was very cold when asked about Ralph. Remember, Ten Hag did say, I draw my own lines. Joseph, do not associate Eric Ten Hag with the sacking of Ralph Rangnick. This decision was made before Ten Hag was even going to be the manager. Man United wanted rid of Rangnick because the players didn't like him and some people in the board didn't like him. That's why he's been sacked. That's the cold, harsh truth of the matter. They'll try and spin it's to do with Ten Hag because that's where you get the positivity. But the reality is, this is player power, which shouldn't be winning at any football club, and it's the board not being happy as being outed as the problem. That's why Ralph Rangnick's lost his job. Anyway, let's move. We are... at half-time, and it is 1-0 to Nottingham Forest here. But what we're going to do at half-time is something that we like to do. Young Player of the Year award, which is going to be voted for by you through polls. But Forest, 45 minutes away now from being promoted to the Premier League. Huddersfield are going to have to open up in the second half. I'm sure we're in for a very exciting second half. Let me just put this out, and I will start the poll. The half-time chat. There we go. And let's go with that. So, Young Player of the Year, NBF, thank you very much for the super chat there. Make sure you subscribe, everyone, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, you're very welcome on That's Football. So we're going to do Young Player of the Year as voted for by you, the community. You've got 8 players, and they will all play each other in a quarter-final, then a semi-final. And you will vote for the winner. Our first semi-final... Some of these are really good, actually. Some of these are really good. So, I think you've done well, because I could see either winning in every quarter-final. So, your first quarter-final is Saka of Arsenal, who I think has had a very good season, against Cucurella at Brighton, who is classed as a young player, even though he looks a lot older. And obviously it's his first season in the Premier League as well. He literally was bought last summer. So Cucurella is actually 23. What a signing he's been. So 23 or under, you can be classed as a young player. Cucurella at Brighton and against Saka of Arsenal. What a season Cucurella's had. What a season Saka's had at Arsenal, although it didn't end as well. There was a time where I think Saka looked absolutely fantastic. So get your votes in there. We're going to do Young Player of the Year as voted for by you. Saka goes into an early lead, no surprise there, with 65%, but it's coming down a little bit. So let's keep it going. Is Saka actually that good, says Mike. And Saka is very good, but I think he's overrated. I think Saka will probably get more votes in this because not a lot of people... Well, it's not fashionable to watch Brighton, but Cucurella has been unbelievable this season. And I think if he'd put those performances in for an Arsenal or a United or a Chelsea, people would be saying give it to Cucurella easy. But obviously, Saka's more high profile. And also, let me just repeat about Saka. This is a guy or a young man who took a penalty in the Euros and missed. And as a young player, has been the catalyst as well to Arsenal's season, which very much was very close to being something really, really special. So I think Saka's had a good season as well. It's coming down a bit, so I'm going to keep it open for a little bit longer. This first quarter-final for Young Player of the Year. Saka against Cucurella at Brighton. It was at 64%. It's now at 60%. So we'll see how that develops. Garner goal as it was on target and went in off the defender, says Arthur TV. Good point. Thanks, Arthur. I hope you're doing well. I don't think it's been given to him, but it was on. You're right. It was on target, but I think it wasn't a shot. It was a cross. So maybe that's how they look at it. But you are technically right. If somebody has a shot and it deflects, it's their goal as long as it was going on target. So good observation. But maybe because they thought he was crossing it, they haven't given it to him. It's come down to 59% for Saka, so I can't close the poll whilst it's still active. So get your votes in. Cucurella or Saka for Player of the Year. I'm going to count down from 10, and it's gone to 58%. I can't close it while it's an active poll, and an active poll is when the number is moving. If it stabilises, I count from 10, and if it stays like that, I'll do it. If it goes back up, I'll close it as well. So keep your votes coming in. Saka or Cucurella for Young Player of the Year in our first quarter final. Mate, Saka is clear, says Pal. Okay, that's your opinion. That's what's called an opinion, mate. And people are not going to vote Cucurella because he plays for Brighton. Cucurella has been amazing, and this is coming from a non-Brighton fan, says Cheyenne. Okay, it's been on 10%. It's been on 58% for a while. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's come down to 57%. I've got to keep it open. It's still an active poll. Get your votes in. Cucurella or Saka. It'd be an amazing comeback if Cucurella can come back from 65% to 35%, but it's still an active poll. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. NBF says, hi Mark, fantastic show. Thank you very much for your super chat there, mate. Exciting times when we're doing the poll. Always enjoy it. Daniel Kirk says, Mark, could you ask the panel about what we should do with Garner on the 8 o'clock show? Would love to see everyone's opinion. It's a great point, and it's certainly a topic for the 8 o'clock show. 56% now. I can't close the first quarter final because it's an active vote here. Cucurella's clear, says a fan of Liverpool. Drama says awesome. Saka says the one and only. It's just because people want to keep it open, not because they think Cucurella is better, says Noah. He's a nervous Arsenal fan. They're nervous here. Saka played every game of the season and no significant injuries, says Jack. It's come down to 55%. I can't even count down. It could be a close poll. That's from Daniel. Benzema nailed on for Ballon d'Or, says Mason Reed. Key player in the knockout stages, taking all the dirty money clubs out. Are you on United stand tonight? Love the content, says Mason Reed. Yes. And also, I think I would have been thinking about Benzema getting the Ballon d'Or even if they'd only got to the semi-final. So the fact that they've won it, everything he did on the road, I know he didn't score in the final, but everything you do on the road to the trophy is important. And I think that, Benzema for Ballon d'Or looks good. Okay, we've stabilised at 55%. I'm going to count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and closed at 55%. Saka wins it. It was a good fight from Cucurella, but Saka goes through to the semi-finals. Darcy says, I'm pretty sure Cucurella is going to go to Man City. Yeah, I think he'd be a very interesting Pep signing, a very good Pep signing as well. He's a fantastic player. Okay, the next quarter-final is Mason Mount against Kulusevski. which you can vote for now. Kulusevski against Mason Mount in our second quarter-final to join Saka in the semi-final. Who would you go for? Young Player of the Year. Of course, Kulusevski only joined in January, but was nothing short of a revelation for Spurs in their catalyst drive to top four. Mason Mount, some would say Chelsea have had a bad season. I think Mason Mount's done reasonably well for Chelsea. You know, sometimes a player can be good in a team that's not performed as well as it should have done. But they did get to the Carabao Cup final. They did get to the FA Cup final. They were knocked out by the holders in the quarter-final of the Champions League. League form probably not been that great. But they still finished third. Ralph Sakin is the worst part of the season, says Elliot Mitchell. Yeah, it's a sickener, to be honest. I'm not happy about it at all. Kulusevski's raced into a big lead here. Where's the votes for Mount? I thought, you know, Kulusevski's normally quite a close battle, to be honest with you. But it's an early lead here for Mason Mount. So get your votes in. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. You're all very welcome. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Let me have a look. Am I back? Yeah, okay. So 63% for Kulusevski. It's been like that for a while, so we may as well just count down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's close it. Kulusevski knocks out Mason Mount. He's a fashionable player to like at the moment, Kulusevski. Mason Mount, probably out of fashion a little bit. I thought it'd be a bit closer, but there you go. This is going to be a cracker, this one. Our third quarter-final for Young Player of the Year. This will be interesting. Foden, who actually won it, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Who would you vote for Young Player of the Year out of those two? Foden or Trent Alexander-Arnold? Who are you going to vote for in that quarter-final of the Young Player of the Year award on That's Football? A reminder of some of your previous awards that you've given. You voted Klopp Manager of the Year, De Bruyne Player of the Year, Striker of the Year was Ronaldo, Keeper of the Year you went with De Gea, Defender of the Year was Cancelo, and yesterday we did... what did we do yesterday? We did do one yesterday. We did Midfielder of the Year, didn't we? And... I don't remember who won for being... Was it Rodri who won the Midfielder of the Year? I think Rodri won it, didn't it? I can't remember. I got so wrapped up in the... this is a great vote. We've had 3,598 and it's locked. This is locked on 50-50 at the moment. So get your votes in. Foden or Trent. What a quarter-final we've got here. Foden actually did win Young Player of the Year. And he's up against a very good contender. Rodri won it last night, Midfielder of the Year. So there we go. I need to write that down because we can keep track of who's winning these awards. Okay. Foden's now in front with 51%. Keep your votes going in. It was Rodro who won, actually, if you're absolutely right there. Yeah, please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. That's football. Great community. Everybody's welcome. Doesn't even matter who you support. We have got some more watch-alongs to do for you over the international break. I'll be letting you know when they're going to occur. We're only 300 subscribers away from 692,000 on the road to a 700k. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, as ever. Okay, so it's been on for 51% for Foden for a while, so I'm going to count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get your votes in. I'm just about to check it. Mark, thoughts on Grimsby versus Wrexham game? What a game it was, Samuel. I'm glad Wrexham got knocked out. I thought they'd get promoted. And it's Foden who wins. 5,300 votes, and Foden wins 51% to Trent. Out goes Trent. Into the semi-final goes Foden. And our final quarter-final is another good one. It's Declan Rice against Conor Gallagher for Young Player of the Year. Both had very good seasons at smaller clubs. Sorry, West Ham and Palace, but you're not a big club, are you? You're not a top four club. Perez won the Grand Prix, says Tom. Thank you very much for that, Tom. And our final quarter-final for Young Player of the Year to join Saka, Kulusevski and Foden in the semi-finals. It's Rice against Conor Gallagher. Get your votes in. There we go. At half-time in the playoff final here, Nottingham Forest leading 1-0. Cross from James Garner. Diverted in by the defender. They lead 1-0. They're 45 minutes away from Premier League football. But I'm sure Huddersfield are going to react. Let's see what happens in this second half. Rice is winning at the moment. Conor Gallagher's had a good season, but I think Declan Rice has had a great season. Will he be at West Ham next season? That's the question I've got. Will Chelsea lure him away with an offer good enough for West Ham to take on board? I was confident that he would leave, but I'm not so sure. What we got? What we got? Rice has got 59%, so I'm going to count down here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Declan Rice wins with 59% of the vote. So Declan Rice into the semi-final for our Young Player of the Year award. And we're now going to go to our first semi-final because the players are coming back out. We can carry on in the second half. Don't worry about that. So it's a North London derby here. North London derby. It's Kulusevski against Saka. Slow Sports News. Kulusevski against Saka. North London derby in this Young Player of the Year on That's Football. Crunchy Nut Cornflakes. Audi Driver. And an evening of Stranger Things on Netflix. And chill. VS, welcome to the Members Club. And Super says, Mark, are you excited about Finalissimo on Wednesday? Italy against Argentina. What's that all about? There is a game on Wednesday night that's quite big. Is it Scotland against Ukraine? I think that's happening as well. So, yes. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. You can do that through the $sign. Aram says, do you think it was Ten Hag's choice to not keep Ranić? Weird the way they spoke about each other in press conferences, never even met. No, Aram, the Man United made the decision on Ranić before Ten Hag. I think they might pin it on Ten Hag, but if you've been watching the United stand over the last couple of months, I was speaking about this 2 months ago. There was rumours that the board were unhappy with Ranić back in March, and lo and behold, yeah, they've got rid of him. Ranić wanted to stay. 100% Ranić wanted to stay. And, you know, also what I would say as well is, and I don't think I said this on the United stand, so it's a bit of an exclusive. How the hell can Erik Ten Hag have a bad opinion of Ralf Rangnick when he's never met him? They've only spoken on the phone. So if Ten Hag's got something to do with Ralf Rangnick losing his job, which I don't think he has, that's not a great character trait when you sack somebody on somebody else's word when you've never given them a chance to meet them. So I just don't agree with that at all. Kulusevski's winning, but it's close. The gap's coming down. Saka's got 44% and Kulusevski's got 56%. Who would you vote as your Young Player of the Year between Kulusevski and Saka this season? Remember, Kulusevski only played half of a season, but was his impact so big? Saka played all season, 19. You know, I know what I'd go for, but I can't influence the vote. So I literally have to just say, I'm not going to influence the vote. You get your votes in yourself. The second half has kicked off, so I need to get the timer going here. Huddersfield are going to have to push in this second half. No doubt about that. We are already a minute into this second half. Punched away by the keeper there. And go. There we go. So, it's still at 56%. I'm going to count down from 10. 10. Get your votes in. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, a bit like the race for top 4, it's a surprise. I would have voted for Saka in that. It's Kulusevski who goes through to the final. That's going to cause a lot of disagreement. Watch along for Scotland, Ukraine, says Nathan. I don't know. I'm going to have a look at the fixtures in a minute. I'll tell you what games I am doing and what games I might not be doing. So please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Spain are playing Portugal on Thursday, says Carlos. Yep. Maybe I'll have a look at that one. I'm going to have a look in a minute anyway. I know England are playing Italy and Germany as well. I wouldn't mind looking at that. Right, our second semi-final is going to be Foden against Declan Rice for Young Player of the Year. Declan Rice has been amazing for West Ham, and Foden, he actually won Young Player of the Year. So let's see who you vote for in the semi-final here. Could be a close one. Declan Rice, Phil Foden, get your votes in. Young Player of the Year there. Son's been robbed. He's 29. You've got to be 23 or under. Mark, thoughts on Luton, young player? I don't know, Liam. I don't know. Long way to go yet before you can say that anyone's going to get promoted here. A long way to go. Huddersfield have just got to change the way that they're playing. They were playing with a back 5. They've got to play more progressive now, and that could open the game up for both teams. It's close between Foden and Rice. Get your votes in. Young Player of the Year. Good tackle there. Huddersfield definitely getting involved now. Pressing a lot higher up the pitch, which will mean a better game. Good tackle by Garner again. I don't know why Jesse... Well, I mean, you know, Jesse Lingard, if he'd played a few more games, might have been considered. It's 51% for Foden and it's 49% for Rice. Foden's also almost becoming the Real Madrid of this. You know, he only just beat Trent to get to the semi-final, and he's neck and neck with Rice for the final. He's having to battle here, Foden. It's back to 50-50 here. Get your votes in. Who would you have, Declan Rice or Phil Foden as your Young Player of the Year? I mean, Declan Rice has had a very, very good season at West Ham. Certainly not his fault they didn't win the Europa League or get into Europe top 4. I'd love to see what Declan Rice would do in a top 4 side. I think that's the next step, isn't it? That is the next step. Foden's gone back in front again. This is exactly what happened with Trent. Now it's back to 50-50 again. Get your votes in. It's a cracker, this one. An absolute cracker. That's football, Paul. Declan Rice against Phil Foden. Scooby-Doo. 50-50. Are we going to get a winner here? Scalzi. Scalzi, I've seen this poll on That's Football. Declan Rice or Phil Foden? Still 50-50. Still 1-0. We've had 5 minutes of the second half. Huddersfield are definitely pushing here. Pushing hard. Like a constipated squirrel. Not that I've ever seen a constipated squirrel pushing hard. We've all been in that position. Not watching a constipated squirrel, but if you've not been constipated in your life or you've not had to push hard, then well done. You've obviously got a good diet. No bowel issues for you. Anyway, let's get back to this poll. It's more exciting. It's still 50-50. We've had 5,700 votes. We're in the Young Player of the Year semi-final. And it's 50% for Foden. It's 50% for Rice. Can we get a winner? Share the video. Invite people in. We need a winner. We need a winner here. Huddersfield are pushing hard, as I said. Garner. Interesting ball. Not a very good ball. And it'll go all the way through to the keeper. Keeper. Still 50-50. 6,380 votes. I'll keep it open. It's only the semi-final. Trent got knocked out in the quarter-final, but to be fair to Trent, it was 51% to 49%. So, you know, it's the way the draw goes. If you want to win it, you've got to beat everybody. Lovely play by Garner again. Finds the pass. And a good play by Davis here. He's done really well. Is he going to whip across? He is. Huddersfield deal with it. It's a much better second half now. This is what a goal can bring to a game. It opens it up. Huddersfield's game plan was obviously to hit on the break and be defensively sound. But now they've conceded a goal. They've got to be a little bit more open. And it just makes the game better to watch. Lovely play by Spence. And he wanted a corner. And he wins a corner. Oh, Foden's back in front, 51%. That means I'm going to count down from 10 to 0. Get your votes in, because if it stays at 51%, it's over, and Foden has snatched it in the semi-final. Foden or Rice for your Young Player of the Year. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It looks like Foden's nicked it. He has nicked... Oh no! Literally went 50-50. Oh my God. The drama. The drama. It literally went to 50 as I was just about to click. I'm glad I didn't click. I would have been in all sorts of trouble. Oh, Spence. Oh, he's done very well there. Good play by Spence on his own at the back. He was in a one-on-one. And he's done well. And now it's Garner. And that's a bad ball. Wow. Foden. It was like a boxing match. Fury against Wilder. Rice just got up and said, "No, I won't be defeated." Keep voting, men. Young Player of the Year. Foden against Rice. And this is only the semi-final. 7,800 votes. Share the video. Let's get more people voting. There is 12,800 voting in the chat, so we should get 10,000 votes. Get your votes in. Rice or Foden, 50-50 for Young Player of the Year. I'm impressed by the chats. I think you've been absolutely brilliant on this one, because I think it should be close. Obviously, Foden, the more fashionable player at the Premier League winners, but Declan Rice. It's a bit like comparing Pep to Conte, isn't it? What Conte did at Spurs to get them top four was amazing. That's proper management. Pep's done an amazing job to win the title, but he has got an open checkbook, so there is a balance there. So I think Rice deserves to push Foden this far in what has been the tie of this tournament, this Young Player of the Year tournament. We've gone from quarterfinals to second semi-final, and it's 50-50 here. Keep the votes coming. 8,500 votes. Split 50-50. Final with Rice, Foden and Kulusevski, says Elvin. Well, we could do that. I think if it gets to... I'll give it two more minutes, and if it stays 50-50, we will have to have a three-way. We'll have to have a threesome. I'm sure you don't mind. Yeah, Kulusevski's in the final. He beat Saka. Controversial. I would have voted for Saka. I can say that after the event. What's your body count as MMV? I've got no idea. Good cross into the box. Corner to Huddersfield. They're pushing here. So we'll give it 2 more minutes, and if we don't get a winner, we'll have a threesome final. Mark Broadbent says, "Let's go to penalties. First one to change to 51 wins." Okay, sudden death, golden goal then. If someone hits 51%, it's over. If it's still 50-50 in 2 minutes' time, we'll put them both into the final. So there you go. Exciting. Vote Rice or Foden. If one goes to 51%, they're through. Or in 2 minutes, if it's still 50-50, they both go through to play Kulusevski in the final. Oh, I thought we were getting a change then. I don't think Rice has ever been in front, has he? It's always been Foden, but it's always been tight. That's what she said. Thoughts on Alvarez, says Dan. Looks like he's going to be a good player. Mark, are you a I'm not reading that, Jill. Not reading that filth. 11 minutes gone in the second half here. Much better game now. This is what a goal can bring to a game. The richest game in football. The winner will play in the Premier League. What an achievement. What an achievement. When it hits 46, I'm closing it. And they'll both go through to the final. We've nearly had 10,000 votes, which means about 5,000 people have voted for Rice and about 5,000 people have voted for Foden. Forest on the attack here. Oh, poor pass. Poor pass that. Now Huddersfield breakaway. It's a nice ball in behind. Good defensively. Goes out for a throw-in. Right, I'm going to close this poll in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We end the poll. It might give us a bit of a result here. Well, look at that. That says Rice 50%, Foden 49%. So what that means is, I mean, I'm not going to go off that result, but it can't be exactly. So what that means is that Rice actually had more votes because he had 50 point something and Foden had 49 point something. But because it does it to the nearest zero, it means Foden's got probably 49.9 and Rice has got 450.1. So it'll round to the nearest one. So actually, technically, Rice did win that. But we do it to the nearest 1%. So they're both through. Will be fair. But technically, Rice did win. But it's a three-way. Oh, get rid of that. I've just put up the world's worst poll. Young Player of the Year, yes or no? Get your votes in. Young Player of the Year, do it, yes or no? Stupid poll. Let's vote it. Let's end that one. Okay, so we've got for the first time ever, we've got a threesome in the final. For the Young Player of the Year, we've got Kulusevski, we've got Foden, and we've got Rice. 3 in the final for Young Player of the Year. Rice technically did beat Foden, but not enough for it to be... Oh! No, it's all right. Shot by Garner. Let's go. Final. Rice, Kulusevski, or Foden for Young Player of the Year, as voted for by you, the That's Football community. Get your votes in the chat. We had 10,000 votes in the semi-final. I want to see 10,000 votes in the final. Half an hour to go. Half an hour to go. I'm just going to actually have a look at the... Actually, I'll do it on this screen. So I'll have a quick look at the early scores. It's close. Rice has got 35%. Kulusevski's got 36%. Foden's a bit behind at the moment with 29%. So it's an interesting final here. Right, I just want to have a quick look at what games we've got coming up for you, because this is not our last watch-along of the season, because there are a few internationals coming in. Nothing on Monday, nothing on Tuesday, unless you want me to do Thailand versus Bahrain, which is a friendly, which I'm not going to do. On Wednesday night, Scotland play Ukraine in a World Cup qualifier. Probably won't do that. Poland are playing Wales in a Nations League game, and that is that. Thursday night, Nations League, Spain against Portugal, 7:45, 8:45. Might do that on Thursday night. Friday, you've got France playing Denmark in the Nations League. Belgium play the Netherlands in the Nations League. Might want to keep an eye on that with De Jong and co. It's up to you. England play on Saturday against Hungary, which I know I can't do as a watch-along because I can't. It's a 5 o'clock kickoff. Italy playing Germany at 7:45 next Saturday night. Sunday, nothing much really of note. Portugal play Sweden. Monday, you've got not a lot there. Croatia, France. Tuesday, Germany, England. I'll definitely be doing that one. That'll be a week on Tuesday night. And Wednesday, Wales play the Dutch. England play Italy on Saturday the 11th. And I think they play again, don't they? I'm sure England have got another game against Hungary on the following. So they've got 4 games. 4 games, really. Crazy. This is getting close here. Kulusevski's got 36%. Foden's got 30%. And Declan Rice has got 33% in the race for Young Player of the Year. So get your votes in. Do you think you look like Will from The Inbetweeners? Me? No, not at all, K10. Absolutely no resemblance at all. Huddersfield on the attack. Good defence. It has turned a little bit into defence against attack here as Huddersfield pushed to get an equaliser. Yes, I will be doing some of the Nation League's games as a watch-along, yeah. Certainly England, Germany and England, Italy. I think they'll be good games. Of course, Italy not in the World Cup. Euros winners not in the World Cup. As Chopper's just said there. Could Cucurella be a good signing for United? I would love him to come to United. I don't think United will be in for him. I think there'll be quite a lot of money that Brighton would want for him. Don't know how much Brighton bought Cucurella for, but I could see him going for 40, 50 million. He's only been there a year. Humphrey says the Rangnick departure is a red flag. The club was always going to want to see the back of him unless Erik ten Hag insisted otherwise. Towing the club line worries me, says Humphrey. Will you be doing a watch along for the Wales versus Scotland Ukraine next Sunday, says Reece? I don't think I will. I think I'm out next Sunday, so I don't think I will be able to do that, which is why I probably won't commit to the Ukraine game against Scotland either. So I will early back out of that and say that I don't think I can do it because I'm pretty sure end of the season is when I pretty much say yes, I can do stuff at weekends. So, will you make an Austria watch along because of Rangnick? Says Samuel. No, it's over. You know, United have got rid of Rangnick. I don't agree with it. I think it's typical of United and the problems that exist within that football club. I mean, somebody made quite a good point. You know, Darren Fletcher's still at the club and Ralph Rangnick isn't. Yeah, because I trust Darren Fletcher to rebuild this football club. He's got all the experience to do that, hasn't he? But I hope it works. It looks like Kulusevski is going to win Young Player of the Year, which I cannot get involved in the vote, and I haven't got involved in the vote. But realistically, I don't think Kulusevski should be winning Young Player of the Year. But it's down to the chat, and he's got 37% of the vote at the moment, and Foden and Rice have got 32%. So get your votes in. When it hits 10,000 votes, I'll count down from 10. I wanted 10,000 votes on this. Get your votes in that for Young Player of the Year. Kulusevski, Foden or Rice. Get your votes in for that. "24 minutes to go. Double substitution for Huddersfield. Rhodes and Holmes come on. Ward and Sinani go off." In fact, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. We have got a show on United Stand at 8 o'clock, yes. Tune in. We'll be talking about Rangnick and the latest on Nunez and Nkunku. There's an update on Nkunku that some of you may not have seen. Doesn't look good. It's a dangerous game to hang on for 1-0. It's not been a great match, has it? But it doesn't matter. It's not about it being a great match. It's about winning. We'll talk about Garner on the United Stand at 8 o'clock tonight. I mean, I think he's played well, but is Garner good enough to play in the midfield for Liverpool or Man City or Chelsea on this performance? It's a question mark, isn't it? And that's something that Ten Hag's going to have to address, really. Is he better than Fred and McTominay? Probably. Fred and McTominay, you know. We'll have to trust Ten Hag on that one. Huddersfield have got to be more... They've got to commit more men forward, really. Their system is a little bit... They've put a big guy up front. I mean, I don't watch Championship football, so I can't offer you any expertise on it, but it feels to me like Huddersfield are a team that works hard. A hard-working, physical side. We will do United watch-alongs in the pre-season. Yeah, I'm looking forward to them. I mean, look, I remember... It's many years since we've been to America on tour, but I remember the years of doing pre-season games in America and getting up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to watch a team that... you know, plays for half an hour here and there and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, these will be a lot easier. I don't know what the kickoff times are for the Australian games, but I presume they'll all be around sort of midday because it's that sort of time, isn't it? Italy play Argentina on Wednesday at Wembley, says Abby. Is it a friendly? Yeah. Yeah, I don't like doing England international friendlies. Here we go. Might be a bit of a chance for Forest here. Oh, he should have gone the other way. Bit greedy. Could have slipped him in twice there. They've still got it with Colback. Whips across. Back post. Headed away. Headed away. Cleared away. I'd say Garner's probably been Forest's best player, Noah. Created the goal. Been defensively good. Here's Brennan Johnson. Bit of a cross shot. 20 minutes to go. It's not a friendly between Italy and Argentina. Make that make sense. What's that all about then? How can it not be that? Is it the final of the Euros against the final of the Copa America then? I've never heard of that before. When's that been made up? Who made that? We've had 10,000 votes, by the way. No, we haven't had 10,000 votes yet, but it's going to be Kulusevski when Foden's actually beaten Rice by 2% in this final. So we'll end the poll. Kulusevski is your community vote for Young Player of the Year. I've got to say I'm surprised, but it will go down in the record book. It will go down in the annals of That's Football history that Kulusevski was your Young Player of the Year. You may be geniuses, you may be laughed at. Remember, Foden won it in real life. So, yeah. There we go. Someone said you split the vote. Well, I mean, this is an experiment then. This is not going to change the final decision. But if I didn't split the vote and I went with Kulusevski against Rice, prove me wrong. It's Kulusevski or Declan Rice as Young Player of the Year. Get your vote in. The Huddersfield manager's doing a dance in the box here. He's like this. He's going side. I've got to do it. I want to copy the Huddersfield manager. He's going like this. Imagine on a much bigger technical area. He's going. I think he's trying to get them to press high. It is a lot closer between Rice and Kulusevski, I'll be honest. Nice ball over the top. Huddersfield are in here. Oh, he's cut it back. Penalty. He's given a penalty. Oh, he's going to give it. He's booking him for diving. Well, now, controversial. They may have VAR. I don't know. I thought it looked like a penalty. Let's have a look. Cuts it back. That's a penalty. It's not a dive. It's a penalty. That looks like a penalty to me. Do they have VAR? Do they have VAR? Yes, they do. I think that will be a penalty. Yeah, penalty. Penalty there. I thought it was a penalty. And it is. In a massive game like this, a penalty has been given. He knows it. Colback knows it. And it will be a penalty. No penalty! Oh my God! He's not giving it! Wow, I tell you what, I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned. What's your thoughts on that? Huddersfield don't get the penalty. I don't understand football anymore. I don't understand football anymore. I mean, I think the referee thinks it's a clear dive, but on VAR, he clearly connects with him. I don't understand anymore. I mean, I think football's becoming so confusing. They're making the rules really hard to understand. Sam says it's not a penalty because he dived, but he connected with him. Not enough contact, says Luke. Yeah, but you can't have that. How can you say there's not enough contact? How do you measure contact? Like, oh. Well, let's run a poll on this. Do you think it was a penalty? Take out your bias. Do you think it was a penalty? I mean, I'd rather Forest get promoted. So I can't say I'm not happy. But in the context of being fair, if that was happening to United, I'd be going, why is that not a penalty? Think about it if you're the attacking team. I would be saying, how is that not a penalty? So, I want Forest to get promoted, but I think it's a pen. The Campbell says that's a clear dive. Dude have two motion in the way he's going down. That's a dive. I must admit, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to the Huddersfield player's action. I was looking for contact because I'm old school. I think a lot of people are like that. That's the rule we understand, is that if there's contact, it's a penalty. So, you know, I must admit, I remember Anthony Martial, this happening to him a couple of years ago for United, and it's the similar sort of thing. The contact's there, and then it wasn't given because they didn't think there was enough contact for him to go down. So maybe they've looked at it like that. But I don't like that rule, but it clearly is a rule that there can be contact and it not be a penalty. So maybe the Campbell's correct there. But 59% of you think it should have been a penalty. 40% say no. Anyway, 15 minutes to go. There didn't seem to be a massive amount of fuss from Huddersfield as well, who would have seen VAR. Oh my God, that's late. Oh no, keeper's all right. Keeper's fine. Pauline says it's a blatant dive. Falling before the contact, says Marcus Jarvis. He literally jumps before he's touched, says Joe. I'd have to, yeah, I mean, that's one thing I would have to admit. I didn't really look at the Huddersfield player. I was looking for contact. And he started falling before the contact, says Astley. He was flying before. Penalty wasn't given. Here we go. Yeah, he is. He is. You know, when they show it back, he's going before. Look, he knocks the ball past. He knows the tackle's coming, but he's not really. I still think it's a penalty. Sorry. Conference playoff final watch along, Mark, says Joel. When is it and what time? I think he does touch him, Samuel. I definitely think he touches him. "13 minutes to go. People are changing their mind. They don't think it was a penalty. 58% say it was. I'll end that poll now. Can you say hi, George, please? Says Ewan. Hi to George. Chat's still going on about it. Forest on the attack. They've not really done a lot of attacking this half. Very tight game. 12 minutes to go. It's amazing how they paint the grass, isn't it? So that it looks like it's a barrier behind, when actually it's just the way they paint the grass at an angle to make it look 3D. Nice ball over the top here. Huddersfield on the attack again. Cross comes in again. And Forest clear it for a throw. Ben says he tries to jump the challenge and gets clipped. It's a stone wall penalty. And Josh says it's a dive, but a penalty. He drew the challenge. If it was outside the box, it would have been given. I am going to do some Women's Euros watch-alongs this summer, yeah, for the England games. Next Sunday, 3 o'clock kickoff, Syhill versus Grimsby, says Joel. I know, up the moors. Hopefully they'll do it. I mean, Grimsby did very well against Wrexham, so there's no guarantee. Massive game that is. I mean, this is a huge game. To go from the Championship to the playoff, to the Premier League is a massive thing to do. But to go from the from non-league football to the league football, it's a massive thing to do as well. Lewis has just come back from the Liverpool parade. Thanks for an entertainment, Mark. Yeah, well, everyone's welcome on here. Make sure you do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. More goals than Liverpool's last 3 finals, says Dance. Huddersfield have got a push now. Legit could have had a penalty, to be fair. They've got a push now. I don't think Forest have played that well in this game, to be fair. And I don't think Huddersfield have played that well either. It's been a very nervy final. Industrious without a lot of talent. And a corner again. We're only 200 subscribers away from 692,000, so please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, everyone's welcome on That's Football. Lots of content for you over the summer. We've got more watch-alongs, obviously lots of international games coming up now, and we'll be also updating and reacting on all the transfer news, so looking forward to it. Make sure you subscribe. We'll be doing longer form videos again, sort of 10 minutes on transfers, talking about them and what it means for the teams and next season. And before you know it, we'll be back. We'll be back with Premier League watch-alongs as well. We've got the World Cup coming up as well this Christmas time. There's loads to get involved with on the channel, so make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Very excited to see what transfer business other clubs are going to do. How active are Newcastle going to be? We've seen Villa already bringing in a centre-back and Kamara from Marseille. If you leave your foot in on a challenge in the box, you should expect to get a penalty. Why does it depend on the behaviour of the ball carrier? A penalty is determined by defensive actions. Look, Sean, you're preaching to the converted. I want Forest to win because James Garner's playing, but I want them to win because they used to play in the Premier League and we've seen Huddersfield in the Premier League. But I can't be blind to the fact that, if you're biased about decisions, they'll bite you on the arse. What happens if that happens to United next season at Anfield and it's 0-0 with 10 minutes to go? It's a stonewall penalty for me. I can only look at it in a fair way, and the way I understand football, that's a penalty. But I don't understand football that much anymore because they keep changing the rules. Not sure if you'll like this or not, but we've just discovered your voice seems to soothe our 4-day-old son to sleep. Much appreciated, says Loz. Good. Good. Well, you definitely need sleep from a four-day-old. So, you know, take any win you can get. I used to have to put one of my kids in the car and drive around. It was the only thing that could get them to sleep. Threefold path. Would you be happy if it was given against United as well? I've got to be honest. I wouldn't be happy with any penalty being given against United. But if I saw that back, I'd say that's going to, you know, before it's gone, when they say it's going to VAR, that was United doing that foul, and it was against Mo Salah, Liverpool, and it said it was going to VAR. I might say you can't give that, ref, but in my head I'd be going, he's going to give it. He's going to give it. Well, that is another one. That's another one. Bloody hell. It's surely going to VAR this one. That's another one. That one's definitely a penalty, says SB. Well, if I was in the VAR studio, I would be going, we've got to give this one because we haven't given you another one. Don't know. Like, I can't comment because I just don't understand what a penalty is anymore. Really do not understand what. Well, it's not going to get given. Can people in the chat tell me why that second one's not a penalty then? First's more of a penalty. I think there's been a change in the rules. You can actually foul people in the box now, and unless you break their leg, it's not a penalty. But, you know, I do have a bit of sympathy for Jonathan Moss. He refs the games he sees. VAR is there to come in and sort of say, you might want to have a look at that. So, I've got to be honest, the second one, I've only seen it that one time. I wasn't looking at live action, so maybe it wasn't a penalty, but, you know. You'd be fuming. You'd be fuming if you're a Huddersfield fan. 5 minutes to go anyway. I sort of feel that Huddersfield might deserve something here, but it's been a very equal game, hasn't it, anyway? I think it's certainly a game where, from Forest's point of view, you just want to get over the line. And from Huddersfield's point of view, you want a bit more time. Mark, do you think Garner is good enough now to play for United? Well, we're going to talk about it on the 8 o'clock show. Who asked that? EJ. But I don't know. I don't know. Is he good enough to play for Chelsea next season? And that's the sort of team that we want to be trying to compete with. So I think that maybe a loan deal would be good for him. I certainly think there's an option for a loan deal at the club at Forest if they get promoted. I mean, that might be a very good idea. But he'll certainly be going on pre-season, and Ten Hag will take a look at him, I suppose. But what he doesn't want to do is spend a season on the bench. That's not good for his development. To spend a season on the bench, what's that? He's a year younger than Declan Rice. Can't spend a season on the bench. You're either going to play him or you're not going to play him. It's as simple as that. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We've only got 4 minutes left here. And we're looking at a promotion for Forest to the Premier League as things stand. We're only 150 subscribers away from 692,000. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Mozza says, I'm so glad Forest are coming up, but that was a penalty. Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. I mean, the team I want to get promoted is going to get promoted as things stand, but you've also got to look at football pragmatically, I think, and say, look, I'm relieved it wasn't a penalty, but it was a penalty for me. But, you know, sometimes in a game of football, it's about the result, isn't it? I think in a cup final, it's nice if you can play well and, you know, play scintillating football. But as I said with Benzema, he didn't score last night, but he scored big goals. It's everything you do on the way. It's everything you do on the way, isn't it? It's like United have got a young lad called Charlie McNeil. He didn't score in the FA Youth Cup final, but he scored a lot of goals on the way there. And it's the collective run, isn't it? You know, if you win the playoff final, it's what you've done over 49 games. In the final, it's about making sure all that work comes to fruition. But Huddersfield are on the attack here. He's got to put the cross in. He's not going to put the cross in. He now puts the cross in. Keeper catches it. Needed to put that cross. Oh, Samba's gone down injured here. He's coming off. Keeper's coming off. Italy versus Argentina is not a friendly. Apparently, it's some sort of weird Euros against Copa America final I've never bloody heard of before. Doesn't make it any more exciting to me. Probably very exciting for Italy because they're not in the World Cup. Mr. Life says Forest have been the better team. I think they've probably been the better footballing team across the league. The job that their manager's done has been very, very good. He obviously didn't start the season as their manager. Changing their keeper here. Samba's coming off and Horvath is coming on. We're about to hit normal time. First one, not a penalty. Second definitely was, says Joe. Yeah, I mean, I've only seen a glimpse of the second penalty. I can't believe that wasn't given. I mean, surely the VAR guy is looking on social media and going, maybe I should have given that first one. And then the second one comes along and he should be going, this is my get out of jail card. Nah, not a penalty. He's literally not given two penalties when both could have been given. And if you did a poll, one of them would have been given. So he's basically not given either penalty. Although Galaxia says neither were penalties. So, you know, who knows? Who knows? We're about to hit stoppage time here. The excitement builds. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Where's he got them from? 6 minutes. 6 bloody minutes. Nottingham VARist. VARist, says D. Still plenty of time here for Huddersfield. They're pushing. Good tackle. Nice ball in. Put it out for a throw. If in doubt, kick it out. VAR checks, yes. Exactly, and Samba's injury. Probably 6 minutes is about right, yeah. Why have they subbed the goalkeeper, says Smile? Injured. Injured. Awoken says Huddersfield deserve it. Don't always get what you deserve, mate. Chris says it's not a penalty if the opponent is still alive. Yeah, you never know. It might be in the rules. Mr. Pigeon says the second one is definitely not a penalty because it was the Huddersfield player who first initiated the contact. I'd have to look at the second one again, to be fair. Two minutes of the 6. I didn't really watch the F1, Danny, because it started a little bit late and overlapped with this. And, you know, Monaco, I don't get hyped up by the Monaco Grand Prix. It's very prestigious, it's very picturesque, but as a race, it's crap. It's a procession, isn't it? And There we go. Garner's played quite well, Dylan. Yeah, Garner's done all right. It's a big step up to say that he could start for Man United. We'll leave it to the manager in the summer. It's up to him. It was a good race today, says KDG. Yeah, I didn't watch masses of it. The bit I watched was probably the last sort of. I watched like the last half an hour to the last, and it was a procession, wasn't it? The last half an hour. Well, Nottingham Forest, as you know, Nottingham, Robin Hood. Has he robbed Huddersfield here or not? Cross comes in. Ooh, just wide, just wide. They've only got 3 minutes left, mate. By the way, when is Moss going to retire, says Sean. I think he goes this year, doesn't he? Isn't this Jonathan Moss's last one? I know Mike Dean, Martin Atkinson. I think this might be Moss's last year as well. Not 100% sure on that, but I think it is. Yeah. Community Shield's on the 31st of July. Liverpool against Man City. Yeah. Well, it's a quick turnaround, isn't it, this year? What's the first day of the Premier League? Is it the 6th or something like that? So, yeah. I mean, like, you think there's no World Cup and there's no Euros, so everyone gets a bit of a rest. But as I said, England are playing internationals till the 15th. I'm sure England are playing internationals till like the 15th of July, June. So, yeah, 14th of June, England are playing an international. So, if you're like someone like Harry Maguire, your holidays don't start till the 15th of June, and you're back in training with United on the 1st of July, which they won't do, will they? They'll come back on they'll come back for the tour. They'll get 3 weeks off, but some of them might want to come back early because it's Ten Hag. How's Spence played? He's been all right. He's just misplaced the pass there, but he'll win a throw-in. Minute to go. Fawaz, there will be a set-up tour. It's coming this summer. Yeah, now the closed season has happened. 6th of August says Super. I think the doesn't the transfer window open on the 6th of June as well? I can't see Huddersfield doing this now. 50 seconds a normal time. Although they've got the ball and he's going to run it. It'll be a throw-in. Last 30 seconds. They've got to throw caution to the wind here. Everybody's up. It's going to be a launcher of a throw. Here it comes. That reminds me, actually, I'm on Talk Sport on Tuesday night on a show talking about Manchester United for 3 hours. The history of the problems with Manchester United in the future. So that'll be live on the Talk Sport channel if you want to watch it on YouTube. I forgot to mention that. Tuesday night from 7 o'clock till 10. It's over. The goalkeeper's got it. He's going to take a kick and the referee will blow the whistle. And Nottingham Forest will join Bournemouth and Fulham in the Premier League. I predict all 3 of them will get relegated. And there it is. Cooper's done it. Garner's done it. And promotion. The final promotion spot goes to Forest. They will join Bournemouth and Fulham, promoted to the Premier League. In what was probably one of the most boring matches I've ever watched. Some controversy there. What's that big trophy doing down that tunnel? Definite controversy. Definite controversy. I don't know how big that... there he is, Garner. He's loving it. Big, big thing for him. big thing for the United lads, and that's why it's a very big reason why I wanted them to win, because for a young player who we've got big hopes for, to go to Wembley and win a game can only do great for your confidence, can't it? So there we go. Two penalties, says the Nemesis. Definitely one. For me, Huddersfield definitely should have had one. Spencer's got his top off. And they're exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. There we go. I don't know what next watch-along we're going to do. I think the next one I'm definitely going to do is England against Germany, which is actually a week on Tuesday. But we've got lots of content for you on the channel as per usual. Do not forget to check out United Stand. I did a video on Ralph Rangnick being removed from the club. Don't agree with it. Check it out on the United Stand. And of course, we're live at 8 o'clock, so make sure you tune in for that one. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Lots to come on the channel. We'll be reacting to all the transfers in the Premier League over the summer as well. Maybe not Bournemouth signings, but we will react to the big ones. Big summer ahead. Thanks everyone for watching. You're welcome. Take care, and I'll speak to you all in a bit.